from Muskegon, Michigan, this is Tiger Talks Wrestling.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tiger Talks Wrestling. Just getting the last couple things set up here as we are going live now. Hear a few things in the background, just some notifications. This is going to be a very special episode of Tiger Talks Wrestling. We've got a very interesting guest, to say the least, that'll be joining us here in just a few moments. Trust me, it's nothing you guys want to miss. And reveal some things that he feels need to be revealed here. And I'm giving him the platform to do so. Unlike last week, this guy will be showing up. I've just asked him to wait a little bit. Because first of all, I want to mention next week right here on Tiger Talks Wrestling, you're going to be in for a little bit special of a treat. As Tiger Talks Wrestling for one night only, next Thursday evening, becomes Atlas Talks Wrestling. As Jason Atlas will be hosting the show, and I will be the guest. So what I want you guys to do is go on to Twitter, and if you haven't yet, submit any questions that you have BYW related to me. Send them over to the one and only Jason Atlas. DM him if you can. That would be the preferable way to do it, because I don't want to see the questions ahead of time. If you don't know how to, then just try to figure out a different way to get in contact with Jason Atlas if you can. Glad to see there's some people in the chat room here. Let me see what people are saying first before I bring in this guest. I see Riley Bates was in and says he's pumped to find out who it is. Says it better not be Trey Danger. Well, I can guarantee you it's not no Trey Danger. This guy's a bigger name than that in backyard wrestling. Glad to see Scorpion in here and Busta Boy. Good to see you too. It has been way too long since you've been in. No, it's not going to be no James Ellsworth or Gilbert. I can promise you that too. No, this guy, as I mentioned, he wants to reveal some things that has happened in the past. Talk about things that have happened more recently as well. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons he came to me is because of a post that Hellhound actually posted on Twitter recently. And because of that, you're right, it's not you, King Dominator. It's nobody in this chat room. So, from what I've seen. So, yes, it's going to be interesting to see who it is. Oh, thank you, Riley, but it's not going to be about me. It's got to be Eugene. No, Steve, it's not going to be Eugene either. No. I think we got plenty of people, 9 people watching right now. That's something huge, especially when you guys don't even know who this guest is. But I will say this much. Yeah, you and him might live in the same state. No, it's not Sweet Savard. You guys can keep guessing. I'll let you guess for a minute here before I bring him in. No, not him. Hey, Mikey, good to see you, bro. Yeah, you're right. You haven't been on yet. We've talked about that. I'll get you on at some point, Mikey. I know a couple people do know who it is. No, it's not Big Time Mike. Good guess, but no. I think some people in at least one company might be a little butthurt with some of the things that are going on, but I like here thinking Busta Boy, but no, this one's not me. It's not me. I'm not the guest. There is a guest. Yeah, Mikey, I'll give you the opportunity at some point to explain yourself if you feel like you need it, bro. Some people think that you do. No, it's not the Burfinator. Good to see you, though, JJ. Nope, you haven't missed anything yet, FD, and I haven't revealed who the guest is yet. Controversy? This will be controversial. I can promise you that. I think everybody knows once they see who the guest is that it will be a little controversial. Nope, it's not Arnold. I guess you're all going to riot then because it's not Mephisto either. Tell you this much, it's nobody from VTW, UWE, NUW, KBW, or DBW. So let's see if you guys get anybody else from out of that before I bring him in. No, it's nobody from GTS either. You know, that guy might be interesting to have on here. It's not Dominator. Not Lunatic Genj. No. But without further ado, I think it's time that we bring him in. Is he pro or yard? Well, Mikey, he started in the yard, but I'd say he's more so pro now than what he was. Nice to see you age too. I'm sure driving and YouTubing is hard to get on with. So I'm going to bring him on. Don't worry. No, it's not the guy who called me out. No, it's not Cage. As I said, nobody from KBW. No, but this guy likes to throw these up, but it's not too sweet. As a matter of fact, him and his buddy Jason Page, yep, throw up the big facts. So with that being said, as one DH and HD guest, my guest tonight is the gunslinger himself, Mark Williams. But with that being said, this isn't your usual Mark Williams that you're getting tonight either.
No, I'm actually not Mark tonight. I'm Eli.
Yes, he is. Welcome into the show, bro.
We are in for quite the fucking show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in for something.
I can see that.
We're in for a lot of heat. Not like the usual heat. We're in for some legitimate shit. And this is going to be a long thing. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, I wrestle under the name Mark Williams. What the fuck just happened there?
Gotcha.
Something weird just happened right there. But I wrestle under the name Mark Williams. And someone just said it's 7:08. It's
it's
different times.
Apparently, but
different time zone. So
and let me just mention that real quick. Riley, we're not late. I started right on time. I just decided to make you guys wait to see who the guest was. I'd say it worked to perfection.
I like what Hayden said there. Hey, Eli, how's it going? Fuck you, Mark Williams. That is that's kind of a theme of what's going on tonight.
Yes.
And well, what's about to Drew predicted it perfectly.
Yeah, he did.
Probably Mark Williams. Let me just say, like, Drew will be mentioned, but I really don't have a big issue with Drew. Me and Drew, there was one time when something happened, but I'm so confused on which was which, and we're gonna get into it.
Yep.
And I'm not really sure where to start. I would say out of any place, it would be the Flash rant back in 2014.
Sounds like a good spot to start.
It's a perfect spot to start, actually. That day was pretty big. You know, BCW, we were still brand new. We were still new to the whole YouTube wrestling stuff and all that. So we were experimenting a lot of things, a lot of different tryouts. And we noticed that in WWE, you know, there are times when they have matches where they're just already in the ring and they started off. So we did that, and Flash did not like that one bit. So she ended up ending ending the whole entire thing, her little BCW talk early.
Uh-huh.
That pissed me off because I was very, very defensive of my company. It was new. It was very fast rising. We were quick to get up there and get up there. And so I went on this rant, and this was just a it was the first big rant. This was what set Mark Williams apart from every other wrestler. This was what made me me. And at this time, me and Cameron Jackson were still fairly new. We were both starting to conversate. We're like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. Hey, come watch my show. Hey, watch my show. All this and that, back and forth. And that was after Cameron Jackson had advertised his stuff, and I was thoroughly impressed. When I first watched, I was like, wow, because usually when you get a comment on your YouTube page and it's like, hey, watch my stuff, you're usually like,
Right?
You're like, I'm not so sure about this. Like, this is not necessarily the what I want to watch. But then I watched, and I was thoroughly impressed. But then after I made that rant, Cameron Jackson said, holy hell, brother, you just set the world on fire. And he messaged me on Facebook and said, what's up, Gunslinger? Gunslinger was born that day.
Right.
And since that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to start transitioning into the Gunslinger. And I started to do that. I started to be the Gunslinger Mark Williams. Now, some people are going to say, oh, well, Cameron Jackson created the Gunslinger. He coined the phrase, I ran with the name. Let's just get that out of the way before we get into what happened later on. And so I'm doing my thing. We're wrestling. And Tony, you know how Michigan winters are.
Yep.
So we decided we were going to do seasons. There's going to be time off, and that was the winter because winters are brutal. They're not good for trampolines. You got to take them down because at the time we were on the trampoline, back when everybody was on a trampoline.
Right.
So we were on the trampoline, ended our season. You know, it was time for me to turn face, and I was going to go with the Gunslinger gimmick as a face. And so during my off season, everyone else is still rolling, and I'm like, all right. I'll see what else is going on. I had stopped watching wrestling for a little bit. I watched. Yeah, Steve, you're in for something. I start watching UWE one day. It was in December, and it goes the Gunslinger Dirty to Chico, and I went, what? What? Hold on a second. What did he say?
All right.
The Gunslinger Dirty to Chico? I am the Gunslinger. I started, that was me first. I was originally the Gunslinger. And the reason why the Gunslinger worked is I had a reason to be the Gunslinger. I was loudmouthed. Shots fired. And all of a sudden, this guy, because he's the sheriff of UWE, becomes the Gunslinger. It made no sense. And when you think of a gunslinger, you think of an outlaw. You don't think of the sheriff. You don't think of the system. You think of a rebel. You think of someone who's breaking the rules, not someone who's making the rules. It's actually a good phrase. But that happened, and I was like, what the hell? And I'm like, why the hell is he the gunslinger? And Cameron goes, oh, no, don't worry about it. It is a totally different thing. He's like the sheriff of UWE. That's his main thing. They just someone called him Gunslinger, and I guess Everett ran with that. And then that's when I went from the I still ran with Gunslinger, but then I started getting messages like, oh, you fucking stole that from Dirty to Chico. And I'm like, what the fucking shit? Who? Oh, by the way, I am as potty-mouthed as Eli as I am as Mark, so...
To deal with it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that a lot. If anyone has parents who are not necessarily keen to cussing, you're gonna have to put on some headphones because you're gonna hear a lot of fucks. And I had been like, okay, what the hell? What? I still don't understand what makes him the gunslinger over me. And at that point, I had kind of just gave up, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. He can be Gunslinger, I can be Gunslinger. We're two different companies. But again, I kept getting that you stole the Gunslinger from Dirty DeChico. I was like, motherfucker, I was the Gunslinger in 2014. 2014, he was with the Dirty Boys with Dirty Dave when they were running around as rednecks, running over Cameron Jackson. I still remember a lot of that. By the way, I did predict the first ever Survivalist Coliseum. Nick Somas won. They tried so hard to talk me out of predicting that one publicly.
Yeah.
I knew that from the very beginning because he's just the right guy to do it. You know, great wrestler. I heard he's a hilarious person.
All right.
And it became apparent that, like, because now he's running with the Gunslinger, Dirty DeChico is. He's not the sheriff of UWE anymore. He's full-on Gunslinger. And as Steve said, he's like, not going to be that guy because when I think Gunslinger, I think Dirty DeChico. That's exactly what pissed me off, is because I was still trying to build up more as the Gunslinger, but I was Gunslinger first. Everyone knew I was running with that name, and Dirty DeChico gets it. And at that point, I was like, okay, what do I do? Change myself to OG Gunslinger. Was that out of spite? Absolutely.
Of course.
I'm just that guy. Why? If I know that you stole something from me, I'm going to completely out of spite just start running with it. And so I keep going. No, you're fine. You're fine. And that is perfectly okay. I understand more people know Dirty DeChico as the Gunslinger than they know me as the Gunslinger. They just think of me as that guy who talks shit on Twitter.
True.
And that is perfect. And I didn't watch BCW. I understand that. And another thing is I lost my train of Mark Williams versus Dirty DeChico. Winner keeps the name Gunslinger. We'll get into a little bit about Dirty DeChico wrestling as the Gunslinger. It's something with me later on. But for now, we're going to stick with the story. We're going to go in chronological order. I don't want to completely jump to now, jump back, and then no one's going to be able to pay attention. So it's going to be really, really fucked, and it's all going to be a giant shit show, and this will be all be for nothing because by the time we get done with it, it'll be oh, one viewer. But right now, we're at 14. Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Now, I want everyone to know that this isn't Mark Williams' fuck the East Coast, never watch them. This is just me getting my anger out and telling the story of why there is Great Lakes versus, or as most people say, Mid-Coast versus East Coast. There's no coast here unless you count the Great Lakes, but we don't. But have we ever called ourselves the Mid-Coast, Tony? What are we? The Great fucking Lakes. We're the Great fucking Lakes. That's big facts.
And it is.
All right. So, all right, yeah. My ring name is Mark Williams Riley, but I am going as Eli tonight because that's who I am, and that's what this is. This is all Eli telling his story about his struggles with the whole thing with the East Coast and the Great Lakes and all this, because everyone's saying all wrestling matters. But again, as we go later on, you'll understand why not a lot of people believe that in certain companies. So now we're getting a little deeper into it. Now we're starting to plan. Oh, hey, Cameron Jackson, I got you, because he said he was going to leave UWE and do a world tour for Cameron Jackson, representing the CJE advertising. I'm like, okay, well, everyone knows that me and him are buddies. So at Summer Bash 2015, Elijah Burt Yankee, you motherfucker. Oh, all right. Oh man, but so I'm like, hey, yeah, come. He's like, fuck yeah, Michigan's gonna be my first destination. I'm going to Michigan, nowhere else first. I will not go anywhere else until I hit Michigan. And I'm like, sweet, can't wait. It was gonna be me and him at Summer Bash versus, well, at the time it was Eric Rains and Matt Cappy, which they were the association. More reasons for me to be the Gunslinger because they were the institution. I was the outlaw. And so we were going to go with that, and he was going to turn on me back when his Hadouken punch was met. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I don't know how the Hadouken punch is at this point. I don't know if he still does that or not.
Not so much.
Yeah, no. That was his big move at the time. So I was like, all right, we're going to both be face-to-face in the ring. At one point, you're going to go Hadouken, turn, hit me down. You'll leave the ring, and then it'll be 1, 2, 3, setting up a feud with me and him in BCW. Me and him were gonna feud. Then he was gonna feud with Eric Reigns for the Universal Championship. We came up with it first. Don't you dare say I stole that from WW motherfucking E. We'll get to that story too later on.
Well, I'm sure we will.
Oh, that's gonna be like a big key point. And so Cameron doesn't show. He was supposed to be a main storyline. So that's why BCW in 2015 cut early. We did parts of Summer Bash, and I was like, all right, well, hey, you got stuff going on. I'll just hold it back. Held it back. Held it back. Held it back. By this time, it's December. I don't know what to do. And this is around the time when it was around this time when Dirty DeChico was really becoming the Gunslinger, and I'm getting more pissed because he's being called Gunslinger more than I am when it's my name. And I told Cameron at one point, and I was like, so are you coming? He goes, yeah, I'm coming. I was like, dude, don't break this fucking promise. And he goes, I'm not. And he goes, hey, won't make it. And I said, all right, I understand. Just don't come. It's fine. You got stuff going on. I'd say it's about a week later I watched VTW when they were first starting up to get big, when they were really starting to pick up steam, and I see Cameron on there. And I'm kind of taken back a little bit, like, wait a minute. I thought you had stuff going on. He goes, yeah, this was recorded a long time ago. But I thought you were coming here first. Yeah, well, this was a lot easier, and it was on my way to something else. So I'm like, okay, this is a little confusing, but
right.
I mean, at the time, he was also still in UWE too.
Yeah.
And at this point, this is when my trust in all the other guys kind of just went down a notch. And I'm wondering, why is this happening? But then I kind of let it go, and I was like, all right, maybe he'll come. Maybe he'll come later on. And, oh, by the way, another thing. I want this to be as unbiased with you as, like, I want you to be as unbiased as possible. If I'm straight cunt right here, if I am just all out fucking piece of shit and don't deserve to have a anger about it, you let me know and you say, no, hang on. I don't agree with you. They're kind of more in the right than you are in the wrong, which I understand might fucking happen because I've been in the wrong. I've been in the wrong plenty of times. I'll admit that.
Right.
Yet again, will Mark Williams admit it? Fuck no.
Right.
There is no one who supports kayfabe more than me. Like, I know this understands like breaking kayfabe, but this is the first time I've done it because I'm so like anti-breaking my character because I want my character to be as believable as possible. I want to be the biggest piece of shit. I want you to fucking hate me at the end of the day.
And if you don't believe it, just ask Mark how many people have, or Eli, how many people block Mark, I should say, on Twitter.
Oh my God, that's so funny because so many people block me, but they're dumbasses for doing that because when they do that, my character builds more and more. That just helps me get more over. I'm like, this fucker blocked me. I'll call him out on it. Be like, yeah, you fucking blocked me.
Right?
You're such a bitch. You blocked me. You can't talk shit back. And then guess what? My block list gets higher because I have a gimmick with the block list. Like, oh, I've been blocked by this guy, this guy, this guy. Chavo Guerrero has me blocked. Ryback has me blocked. What the fuck? Right. And you know, so many other guys here in the East Coast. Like, the ultimate block was when VTW's wrestling account, their like official Twitter blocked me, and I was like, oh, now it's getting good. Now we're getting somewhere with this. That's fucking hilarious. And so VTW's picking up steam. This is Best in the Yard season going on now. And at the time Best in the Yard was coming out, I had taken an interest in two young guys who were really on their way up. Actually, three, but the other guy really didn't need it as much because he had other trainers and guys to help them along the way. It was Cody Rex, and hey, might as well make a shirt with the list of people who blocked you. I wouldn't be on the you wouldn't be on the list. And I do credit. I will give Drew a lot of credit for my career. Him and Myron Reed were the ones who brought me out of the shadows and threw me into the fire immediately. Like, hey, watch this guy. And we just started. Like, it wasn't like someone found us like when we were 6 months in. It was the first episode. A lot of people knew about us. So, and I do give him, this is Biddy 1. Biddy 1, the very first, which is the best. Although I've only watched 1 and parts of 2. I have not seen 3. And at this time, I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm like still young, so I know I'm probably not going to be allowed because mom and dad, my parents are still like, my parents hated wrestling for a long time. They did not like that I did it. I got threatened to have all my shit taken down plenty of times because how many times I nearly beat the living hell out of my little brother for how much of a dick he was. That's why he's not in BCW anymore. And so I'm like, okay, Best in the Yard's gonna be fucking awesome. Yes, they do. Emotions run high, and so do egos. And we're gonna get into egos a lot. I do have a hell of an ego. But like, thing is, Mark Williams' ego is up here. Mine's up here. Oh, this is still high. Mark Williams is still
way higher.
And it's supposed to be, because you can't hate a humble guy. It's hard to hate someone who's humble.
Right.
And so Best in the Yard started to come out, and my proteges I was starting to build up were Cody Rex, Seth Maverick, and Adrenaline. Those 3 were the guys I was like, yes, I can tell they're the future. They're so into this. They love it. I'm in. Cody Rex was more with ESW and Wicked J, and they were really rest in peace, by the way, Wicked J.
Yes.
They had built those guys up. They had built him up like crazy because they were going to bring him in because he's fucking young as hell, by the way. I did not know he was 12 when I was like, hey, man, cool. Get ready. I hope you're ready for all this. And I hope you can do well. And he's like, yeah, I'm 12. I'm like, you look 50. you were the oldest 12-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Seth Maverick, it was when he had the fucking bull cut, which was the funniest thing ever. I loved it. And Adrenaline was a spitting image of me. So I loved Adrenaline from the start. He was a little kid. He was potty mouth this shit. And I'm like, all right, you're just like me. I love it. Seth Maverick, I think you have great talent. You have a great setup for yourself, and you're in the perfect area. So kudos to you. Get working. You are awesome. And they did the BYW awards, which I guess were very controversial. I mean, a lot of people couldn't handle opinions. A lot of people couldn't handle the way voting worked. It really rubbed people the wrong way when they didn't win certain awards. I mean, I understand. I didn't win a Best Pipe Bomb for the Flash rant. Was I pissed off? I was like, damn, I didn't win. Everett Creed even said, damn, no, I don't know what you're thinking, man. Everett Creed said, no, that should have been Mark Williams when he did the Flash rant, which I felt, so like, thank you. But at the same time, people voted. They didn't vote for me.
Yeah.
So it's coming around to the next one, and they say, hey, we want you to host the BYW Awards. You'd be very cool to do it. At the time, I was a face, and I like, hell yeah, let's do it. And this was around the time Cameron Jackson was supposed to come, and he didn't, so it was a little bit like, what the fuck? What's going on here? Why is this not happening? And I kept delaying and delaying and delaying. After that whole thing happened, it was very weird because we're doing the BYW Awards, and I tried to do different things with it. I wasn't trying to list award after award after award after award because I thought, that's boring. Nobody wants to sit here for an hour and just listen to me list off awards.
Right.
Let's put in some matches. Let's put some matches together. Adrenaline, you face somebody. Seth Maverick, you face somebody. I'll face Eric Reigns. Me and him always put on great matches. So it happened, and the matches didn't get to go through because Seth didn't know much about computers. I told him I would handle it, and he goes, no, I got it. He goes, dude, I don't know how to use this. We're kind of screwed. Save it now. God damn it, Drew. Motherfucker. And all that happens. And so then I get shit like Chase Bridges, like, fuck him. Riley, holy shit, South Dakota?
Yeah.
You got tour spot. I mean, sometime in the future, like as I am building up my pro stuff, I mean, if you would ever be down, like I would have to let you know because I'm 100% coming. I don't want to happen to you like what's happened to me. I don't want you to write all this stuff out and have it so set in stone that I'm like, fuck, I can't make it. And then you just can't, then you're fucked because I've been there, and it sucks, and it hurts, and you feel like you don't know what to do. But then we're doing our stuff. I'm doing the BYW awards. Chase Bridges is like, fuck you. Fucking get to the awards, you little bitch. And a lot of other guys are like, yeah, dude, just get to the awards. What's going on? Because we had Special Jack on to do something dumb. It was a Special Jack. It was the dumbest character ever. But it was so funny to me at the time. And it was goofy. And it was like, why not, you know? So it gets shat on. The guy who plays Special Jack, Matt Cavey, big shocker, he leaves. He's all pissed off. He's like, fuck those guys. I'm like, all right, leave. I got to finish this. So I do it. And then at the end, everyone's like, oh, dude, that was such bullshit. Those awards are fucking dumb. I was like, I didn't vote. I voted once. You can only vote one time.
Right.
Why are you bitching at me? I voted. I already put my votes in. Why don't you stop being a bitch? Why don't you just accept that people voted for this? There were a lot of votes. We didn't expect to get a lot of votes, but so many people voted. They were like, yeah, that deserves it. Company of the year. This was in VTW, was boom, exploding. They won it. They deserved it that year. And I get shat on, so I put out the What Happened to Support BYW rant. And I shat on Chase Bridges, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And when that happened, it went from me talking to a lot of those guys out there every day to a lot of them never spoke to me again. That's a fact. Like, not big facts, because, you know, I'm trying to stay away from my character here. I'm like trying to tell the truth, but it is big facts. And I was like, okay, what the hell? Like, what? Okay, you understand. You don't understand. Like, this is how I felt. And everyone knows if I feel a certain way, I'm going to talk about it, because that's just who I am. That's who my character is. That's how it's always been. And Chase Bridges makes a remix of the rant. He was like, fuck you guys. And that's when WW motherfucking E came up. And everyone memed that. I understand. I didn't care. I ran with that too.
Right.
I ran with that like a motherfucker. And I did not care. Why? Because I understand how this place works. I understand that if you do something stupid, we're gonna be memed about it, and I'm gonna accept it. And I ran with that. I was like, I don't work from WW motherfucking E and all this stuff. And it was in a lot of shows. Like, I know Ecstatic put it on, something like that. Cameron Jackson ripped on it a little bit. And so that happened, and Cameron stopped talking to me as a whole. I would try to message him, it'd be read. It used to be as soon as I messaged him, it'd be read right away, and then, hey, it was sent. 2 minutes later, read, ignored. I'm like, what happened? It was just since that day. And then at the time, I was like, hey, you coming? Yeah. Doesn't come. So we do BCW Revival. And this is where it really kind of gets a little screwy. This is when I really start to question whether these guys even like want to be around me, want me around, stuff like that. Because 2 months before March 1st, what is March 1st, Tony?
BCW Day.
It's BCW Day. The day BCW debuted, every single year on March 1st, we put out a video. No matter what it is, it was always a wrestling match. But I always was like, all right, if I can't do a wrestling match, I'll put out like a tribute, something like that. It ended up being a show every year. This year, it was BCW Revival. We do BCW Revival, and this is the big event that we're advertising the hell out of. We're like, yes, BCW Revival. We're coming back. We're reviving BCW, because it seemed like we were done at that point.
Right.
And we seemed completely finished because our storylines just completely got fucked right in the ass. And so we're starting that out 2 months before. I'd say it was about 2 weeks before March 1st, Everett Creed announces, hey, guess what? We're doing lockdown. The first lockdown in fucking years. You never did a lockdown. You guys were just disappearing, and then all of a sudden you're coming back with a lockdown on March 1st after I announced it 2 months before. So I messaged Everett. I was like, hey, let's do this cool thing where March 1st is a big day for wrestling, YouTube wrestling, I like to call it. Yeah, and he goes, yeah, let's do that. And I was like, yeah, you can do lockdown first at 8. Then as soon as lockdown's over, you could be like, hey, everyone go watch BCW Revival. And he goes, yeah, that's a cool idea. Let's do it. We get to that fucking day. And he does lockdown. As soon as lockdown is over, I put in the chat, everybody, go see BCW Revival right now. BCW is back. The motherfucker puts back in the chat. This is Everett with UWE Wrestling, UWE HD or whatever it is.
Yep.
He puts back, please no advertising. He fucking knew I was going to do that. He knew the whole time. I'd asked him to put on commentary afterwards to do it. He didn't do it, so I was like, all right, then I'll advertise it. Says no advertising?
All right.
What the hell?
Really?
You knew. Okay, first off, you knew 2 months before that I was going to do it because I knew you liked the tweet. And I was like, what the f-? And I messaged him a lot because at the time, me and Cameron were still kind of, you know, a little bit like that.
Right.
And like at the time he stopped talking to me, but I still thought we were close buddies and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I'm lost, like, what the hell? And this is when Lil Bastard came along, and this is when I was back to being healed. This is when I was back to the prick. And at this time I was a prick. It was less of an asshole, more of just that egotistical prick. And I didn't give a damn. And so that happens, and I kind of brush that off. Like, why'd you say please no advertising? That's a little weird. But I ignored it. It was like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting deeper into it. And Drew Hood puts out a tweet. Drew, this is where you're probably to be mentioned the most. He puts out a tweet and says, hey, check out these things going on. Doesn't mention BCW. Me, of course, being the guy I am, and go, hey, you forgot BCW, you son of a bitch. Don't you ever forget that. He goes, I was actually going to, and then he tweets out, hey, BCW, this. And I go, he shows me the tweet, and I don't care. He shows me the tweet, and he goes, hey, I already tweeted it out. And I went, oh, I didn't see that. Next time, be a little quicker with it. You know how important I am. Emphasis on I'm. And I get a fucking Facebook message from who other than Aaron Jones, who I've never spoken to before besides on a hangout once or twice. I had to call on Facebook and friended him. This guy, Tony, do you have the tweet to put up or the Facebook message to put up?
I have it. I can show it.
Show it, please. Because if I just say this, people won't believe it. But this really happened, everybody. Once you put it up, I'm going to read it off.
Yep, give me a minute.
I want this to be said word for freaking word.
Once it decides to load here.
Oh, my God. I was in utter shock when this happened, but also at the time, I was still a little more like, oh, yeah, these East Coast guys are looking out for me. And so I was a little less of a fuck you at the time in the behind the scenes than I am now, because now if they were to message me and say, hey, that's disrespectful, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. Don't fucking talk to me. Be like, you're a little shit sack and I don't want anything to do with you. All right, here we go. All right, so those are my tweets. And he goes, I know that you wear in character. Yes, wear. But you still need to show respect. I want this to be mainly shown on the screen. I don't know if it's showing at all. Maybe it is. It's kind of...
Maybe.
Let's wait. I may be quiet for a minute so people can read what the fuck happened, what the fuck was said. Yeah, he says tweet not on screen. I figured it wasn't. So I'm gonna mute myself real quick so it shows you. You can read it if you want to.
Sure, why not? So we had, I'll just read the entire thing. As long as you guys are getting this, I hope you do. In case you missed it, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Drew Hood, then BYW Face Puncher. Didn't see that tweet, my bad. But hey, you know how important I am. Emphasis on I. Don't slip up like that again, bud. That's Mark Williams. Aaron Jones comes back with, I know that you were or in character, but you still need to show respect. If things come off disrespectful, then you look bad. To which Mark would reply, I didn't mean for it to be like that. Me and Drew have known each other for a while. I don't know if he thought it was like that. I don't think he would, man. I'm sorry, man. Don't mean to disrespect. If you guys didn't see it, that's what it said.
Yeah. So then I reply, all right, I'm going to talk to Drew about this. And he goes, "Oh, there's no need to talk to him. I just thought it looked." He just sent it to me and said it, and I thought it was very disrespectful. And he just sent it to me. And so I immediately messaged Drew because I'm like, all right, let's talk to him. I'm like, hey, I didn't mean anything really disrespectful with that tweet or that. Yeah. And he goes, oh, no worries, man. I thought it was funny, man. That's how your character is. I have no personal feelings against anyone. I'm like, okay, if he's saying that it didn't make a big deal, why would he then send that? Like, that doesn't make sense to me why he would send that to all the guys or Aaron Jones, and then Aaron Jones would message me, and he said he has no fucking problem with it. So who the fuck is pissed? Are you just have a personal vendetta with what the fuck I said? My character is supposed to be as controversial as possible. That's what today is. And I've always wanted it to be that way because controversy creates cash. Eric Bischoff.
I agree. Smart man.
It's always been the most interesting thing. And for some reason, he just messages me about it. Like, yeah, I know you were in character, but you should still show respect. If I'm in character and as a disrespectful, controversial asshole, why should I show respect? Oh, and then this is what got me. He goes, when guys like VTW and UWE are gone, you're going to be the top guys, and I think you guys will be that as long as you are respectful.
You could get any of that on there, maybe. Yeah.
Blurry as shit.
Yeah. They were saying the other way was blurry too, so we'll try it again.
It might have been just on his way, but I mean, you read it off, and if anyone wants me to personally send it to them, yeah. I just know he sent. Oh shit! All right, hang on. You read it off, because then they'll be able to see it.
Yep, as you guys hopefully can see it here, because I'm not in the chat room, so hopefully you're seeing it. I just know he sent me that, as this is Aaron Jones, and he didn't say anything about it, but I was just trying to look out for you, dude, because when VTW and UWE and companies like that are gone, you will be the top gun. And I think you guys will succeed as long as you are respectful.
Now, I want to get something out of the way. BCW's been relevant longer than both of those guys. And when I came in, the top guys were BEW Kentucky, KBW, and CCW when Drew was in there. Drew, I had to mention CCW. It was popular at the time. And we had come in and we were well fast rising. Do I think some of that success has something to do with the entrance videos? Yes. But I made the entrance videos, so I deserve some fame. And did Drew play a big part? Yes. But so did Myron Reed. KBW straight fucking blocked me. I mean, no disrespect to them because they just thought I was a little fan finding their Facebook like a little creep. But no, at the time I was looking for advice. Yeah. All right. So Drew clears the air. He did send it and all that. But like, why? He had no reason to message me. That was who I was, and I would never back down on my character. Yankee knows that damn well. And Yankee got into that little Twitter war. I mentioned his kids, which I honestly shouldn't have, but you know, I'm Mark fucking Williams, and I do some dumb shit. And Yankee got really pissed, called me by my real name, and then blocked me. And then I used the blocking as a stepping stool, and then I used the whole kids thing as a stepping stool as well. Because, you know, if I pissed you off that bad, I should run with that. And that's what any good heel would do. If they really piss someone off that they know, like, okay, like if they pissed off another big wrestler and they got pissed and blocked them, they're probably going to run with that. Yeah, that's where he started. And now we're getting to the point where I'm 16. I'm able to drive. I'm able to go places. All there, that. And I don't get invited to Best in the Yard, which this podcast is not to the point, is not because I'm a pissant and didn't ever get invited to Best in the Yard, like what Chase may say. But at the time when I still love these guys, I'm like, oh, I think I get to go to Best in the Yard. Then I was a little upset. And, you know, now I kind of felt like I'm being treated as a lesser. I'm not being treated as equal like they said everyone was. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? If you guys say all of us are equal, why am I being looked down upon by everybody at this point? And I've been told that a lot of it is VTW doing that. I've been told by people outside of my company that, yeah, it is those guys. They tend to do that. And I'm like, oh, that's odd. I've been told stories, plenty of stories, and we'll get to those. And I think, well, what is next? I mentioned some of it to you, Tony. What else is there? I'm sort of drawing blanks here because I'm still a little caught up on the whole why in the fuck did Aaron message me that bullshit? Who the fuck are you? And if he was to dare say that to me now, it would be fucking hilarious because I'm like, who the fuck are you to tell me that shit? I do what I want. Fuck you. But at the time, I was like, oh, yeah, dude, my bad, blah, blah, blah. It's fucking bullshit, you know?
All right.
All right, so what else?
Exactly.
What else was it that I mentioned? Oh,
You see here.
look, after the Aaron Jones message. Oh, okay. So now there are some good parts. There are some happy parts about the East Coast and me. Walkout movement happens. Everyone in BCW walks out of the show because the live crowd was dumb as shit. And at the time, they weren't as into wrestling as I was. They were sort of doing it on the camera, but people locally, they didn't want them to know. I stopped caring at that point about what people thought of me. And so they walked out, and I messaged them. I'm like, hey, I guess BCW's done. Why? And I'm like, hey, put me in a fucking you want to get in a hangout? They're like, oh, I'm already in one with these guys. Come on in. And at this time, it was Big Time Mike, who, out of everyone that I know from that clique, is my fucking favorite. He is Riley, thank you, but with pro wrestling picking up, I probably wouldn't go to Biddy at this point unless it was Chase Bridges, but we'll get to the whole why me and Chase Bridges will never happen later on. And
trust me, that's
that's been a plan for a long time, but it was always shot down by Chase. And so now, all right, I could be able to barely see me. I can barely see this. And so that happens, and I get in the hangout with all them. Now I'm pissed drunk because I'm all pissed off. So yes, I'm not 21, but I drink. Big whoop. So does every other fucking teenager and preteen and fucking people who are adults but not 21 adults. It happens. It's life. Deal with it. I don't care if you're gonna fucking call the cops. I haven't drank in fucking months, so I'm clean. Mark Williams to GTS. Fucking Grim would have to hit me up for that one.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. But so I'm in the hangout and I'm talking to them. And he goes, and then Cameron and Drew go, yeah, we'll talk to them. And Mike's in there. He goes, yeah, man, we'll talk to them for you. We'll see what's going on. And so, and Mike, I think Mike showed a lot of interest in BCW. He did say he wanted to come up someday, but he said, I'm inching towards the end of my career. There's no point because it'd be no point. And I was like, I totally understand. Alabama to Michigan would be a bitch drive.
Yeah.
And so, but he was like, yeah, dude, I fucking support you guys all the way. He advertised BCW anytime it was coming out. So he's just a genuinely awesome person. I love Mike. And that's why someone sent me the thing where he mentioned me building up for the VTW Rumble or Reunion Rumble, whatever it's called. He mentioned me.
Reunion, yeah.
I thought that I watched it. I laughed my ass off, and I thought, okay, that's fucking great. That's hilarious. I love it, and I just love Mike. And I remember Cameron would have me and him on on the what he did though. What was it? BYW Fix.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah, he had me and him do like promo battles on there, and they were fucking awesome.
Right.
Big time Mark Williams in a promo battle. Like, do you guys have a now? I'm hurt. Holy shit!
Wow.
We had 1,000. We're at 1,000 subscribers, and like they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Who are you? Fuck you!"
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah. I'll type in the chat. Howdy. I said howdy. That's our channel. Watch after the podcast, please, because this needs to be seen. And Tony needs the views. Tony needs the money. Totally playing. Sure. Tony doesn't make money off of this. Tony does this purely out of the passion, which is why I fucking love him so much. Tony is a better Flash because you never cut out a review of mine. You never was like, fuck this shit. You're always like, oh, yeah, that wasn't that great. And he was, and I've met him personally. I've been face to face with Tony. He's an awesome fucking guy.
Thank you.
And so now the walkout movement happened, and I'm like, oh shit, all right. So at this point, I'm like, hey, I'm talking to CTS. I'm like, hey, because he was with Bad Reed when Bad Reed was still in YouTube wrestling and all that. So same with Chris Copeland. Holy shit, what a name to mention. And I was like, is there any way I could start going with you guys? Yes, 6 foot. Anyway, I could start wrestling with you guys. So like, yeah, we'll tell you when our shows are and where they're at. And I'm like, all right, perfect. Fuck no, he's short. Mikey, I'm like twice your size. Fucking asshole. But so now I'm like trying to find a way to wrestle again because I'm like, yeah, I want to go somewhere else and start wrestling. And they were there. They're like, hey, man, the FTC guys, I guess you could call them now, but minus big time because he left it. And they were all supportive of me. They were all like, yeah, dude, whatever you do next, we'll fucking watch you and shit. And I think that was the last time I've actually talked to any. I'm pretty sure that was the last time I actually talked to Drew. That was the last time I ever talked to Big Time. There were a couple times when me and Cameron talked, but it wasn't necessarily positive.
Go figure.
So this was the last time I had a positive conversation with Cameron, the last conversation I've had with Drew, and the last conversation I had with Mike. It was about BCW ending. And then later on in that year, I fucking called it from the start. The guys came back like, hey, we want to do BCW again. And at this point, I'm so done with wrestling. I'm like, what? No, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. First off, the guys aren't even going to remember us. Second off, none of the guys even fucking like us. And they're like, dude, fuck those guys. Why do we even build with them? And at this time, we got invited to Supercard, which was another big crossover event going on for the big crossover event, which wasn't the East Coast. And yeah, and it was BEW Supercard. That was
Supercard.
That was Ellis Taylor, Cyrus X, CTS, a Sue and Van God, who, holy fuck, what a wrestler. Oh, he was awesome. He was phenomenal. Also, this was the first YouTube backyard wrestling event. That was a big supercard, one of the big main guys in wrestling besides VBW that ended up in a ring.
Right.
And so at that time, that's when 16 came out, because that was when I can't remember what event it was when 16 started, because at that time I was so burnt out and done. And at that time, I thought it was a really stupid idea to have that many crossovers, because I think that killed the that special feel that Best in the Yard gave us the first time.
Yeah.
And I stopped at that time. I was starting to watch less and less, and I thought, yeah, let's do this. And it was at this time when Ellis Taylor and Cyrus X started telling me about what they did. Ellis Taylor and Cyrus X were like, yeah, we were supposed to be in a big match at we were supposed to be facing Ecstatic at Best in the Yard 2. But they said, and I was supposed to go over, which I thought was a great idea because, it was a way to build our platform and get us out there. And Ecstatic says, no, fuck that. I want to win because I lost last year. Which I understand. Like, yeah, we're still active, but we're YouTube wrestling. we go more of YouTube wrestling or just flat out wrestling. Because with us going pro, if we mention those 3 letters, we kind of get blacklisted. So we've changed our persona to more of YouTube wrestling and all that. So people are like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, and they can't be like, oh, they're backyarders or yard tards and all that. So there's a nice little question I answered. I try to answer the questions because I don't want us to feel like we're like, fuck audience, fuck you guys, this is about me. But this is a big story about what happened. We are unprofessional. I like what Hayden said there. Right. Unprofessional wrestling is the way to go with that one.
There you go.
And so I'm starting to watch less and less because I'm less interested in those guys. And it was at this point when they started telling me those stories, I was like, wait, they're doing this to you guys? Well, here's what they did to me. And at the time, I was like, yeah, look what fucking Aaron Jones said to me that one time. And Ellis Taylor fucking tweets out, don't you ever demand respect from us. I'm like, oh, shit. And he's like, yeah, I fucking hate all those guys. Because when they said no to losing to Ecstatic, because they're like, well, we're newer. We should be able to go over for this. And so they said, all right, you're not coming to Best in the Yard. They booted them off the show. Because remember, it was when they did the Make Me Famous at the Reunion Rumble. They were building up all this and that. And at the time, I was like, fuck those guys for being there. Fuck them. I mean, why am I even watching this shit? I'll turn it off. So, stop watching. And now I see these guys in the chat. I'm like, that's weird. And then they tell me the story. And I'm like, damn, that's why you guys weren't at Best in the Yard. And I watched Best in the Yard too. A little bit of it. And this is my opinion. I thought it was not good. I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't find anything interesting about it. I thought that the whole crossover thing was burnt out. It's always happening now. Like all these guys are on the show, so how can you call it a crossover if they're all on one show now? So is this even a crossover anymore? And so at that point, that after Best in the Yard 2 was the day I cold turkey stopped watching all of other wrestling organizations as a whole. Like if people would send it to me, I'd watch it because they fucking sent it to me. And I'm not going to straight up be like, fuck you.
Right.
And at the time, this is when Navon started coming up. And there were a lot of reasons I stopped talking to a lot of these guys. A lot of it was because I had mad loyalty to Myron Reed because that guy stuck by me like this, just that close together. Right. We would talk all the time. I'd be up till 5 a.m. talking to this guy about wrestling and how much we fucking love it and all the stuff we'd love to do. And it was fantastic. He was an awesome friend. Then everyone started bashing on him because Cage called him out for a mistake he made. When, I mean, to be honest, I would have probably done the same thing. My parents would have been pissed if I had invited a bunch of random people over. And they shat on him forever and ever. And when Navon first came out, he shat on Myron Reed. And immediately all the guys in BCW, loyal to Myron Reed. He's our guy. I consider myself trained by Ames and Myron Reed.
Right.
And because, I mean, Ames is my current trainer. Myron is just the guy who threw me up into the air. I was like, fucking Jesus, this guy is. His mic skills are phenomenal. He said all this and that. He put me as number 2 on his top 5 favorite BYW talkers behind Big Time Mike. Right. He was like, oh, Big Time Mike first, which I don't disagree with all. He's phenomenal. I think he should have went pro. He would have been perfect in the pros because he's got that charisma out the ass.
Right.
And so then he put me in at number 2, and I was like so flattered because he was a guy who's always been constantly with me the whole way. And get this, he was supposed to be my original WrestleVersary 2 opponent, but the only reason he couldn't do it was because he was worried about getting blacklisted because he was on the rise at this time. Now he's exploding. And he goes, 2, I am completely booked for the next 6 months. And I go, dude, that's all you got to say. Like, I appreciate you telling me this 3 months before we're going to record, too, because you are so booked up and you can't make it. Thank you. I messaged CTS. I'm like, hey, you want to be my opponent since Myron can't make it? Because CTS was supposed to be the original host of WrestleVersary 2. He was going to be the host because you know how he's like the big corporate guy for BCW right now.
Yep.
And he says, yeah, I'll make it. The day before WrestleVersary 2, he goes, hey, what time are you picking us up? Because he said he had a guy who could drive too. And I'm like, wait, you said he had a guy who could drive. Yeah, but I didn't say he had a car. I'm like, motherfucker. He's like, by the time I go and get you, it'll be way too late. He goes, oh, damn, I already have my shit packed up. I'm like, fuck. So at that time, we're like, all right, well, it's none of our faults. Well, actually, it's both of our faults because miscommunication, like a motherfucker. But I still love Simkin because he's just an awesome fucking dude. He came for Last Man Standing, and I feel so bad. We halted his wrestling career. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was the day of. My bad. But he came for Last Man Standing when Jason Page won the BCW championship, which has started one of the greatest championship runs, I think, in all of YouTube wrestling.
Right.
You texted me at 5 a.m. I remember that, yeah. And so so that happened. And when CTS came here for Last Man Standing, some drunk dude who was in the crowd started talking shit to him because me and him did a dark match. And he starts talking, mouthing off at him. And he goes, so they start getting an actual fight. CTS hip tosses him, tears his ACL, MCL, and meniscus that day.
Ew.
And I was like, no, what the fuck, dude? I'm so sorry. Because he's walking off. He's like, fuck, dude. Because when I was taking him home at like fucking 3 a.m. back to Cleveland, he's like, yeah, my fucking knee hurts. I'm like, you okay? Texts me 2 weeks later, torn meniscus, ACL, MCL. I'm like, I am so sorry. He goes, it's good. I'm getting surgery. Bastard. Fuck you, Hayden. So then it ends up me in H2, which I thought was awesome. I think we'll go to this is the perfect time to talk about the Ecstatic thing. Ecstatic reviews the match. Says I no-sold it. While that is true, I kind of had to at times. When I got up early after the radar on the outside, because the referee was counting 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, fuck, we got a spot here. I'm going to leave. And then he's going to say, you should have just retired, leave. And then I come in and beat the shit out of him. And the ref's counting fast, so I had to get up quick. And I'm like, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. And then that happens. And I come back in, blah, 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 boom, boom. And so that all goes on. And we do that, and then he says, oh, dude, you're no-selling everything, and you're wearing socks. First off, Umaga wrestled without shoes, so not the only one. And at the time, I didn't have wrestling shoes, but now I'm just wearing whatever shoes I have. So, because, you know, the black shoes I have work, so I'm using them. And so now I message him, and I go, hey, I appreciate the constructive criticism. I'm doing this now. I'm doing that now. Didn't even open it, ignored me completely. So I'm like, all right, what the fuck? All right, fuck you. You know, I don't even watch your shit. And I stopped watching it. I stopped watching everything. And then now we're getting into When Worlds Collide. Here we go. I think this might be the pinnacle. This is when it became great. This is when it stopped becoming BCW versus those guys.
Right.
It became all of Great Lakes versus the East Coast. This is when we explain why me versus Chase Bridges will probably never happen.
Right.
So the original plan, Hayden's messaging everybody because at the time Hayden was lesser known. We started to know each other through Harry Likes Wrestling. Tony's better.
Well, thanks.
Tony is greater than Harry Likes Wrestling. Harry likes hairy assholes. For some reason, he didn't did an interview with me, but made me put it on my channel and like refused to put it on his. Like when he was interviewing other guys on his channel, he's like, "Yeah, you could put it on." I can't do a British accent, but like he was like, "Yeah, put it on your channel." I'm like, "Why can't I go on yours?" He goes, oh, no, I'm busy. So this is when we're building up. Hayden's messaging everybody like, hey, I'm doing this big crossover in the summertime. And I'm like, where are you from? Michigan. Perfect. What part? Western. Fuck. I was like, I was hoping like Detroit or something. And so at the time we're like, how are we going to make this work? How are we going to make this work? And we're talking about it. And Cameron Jackson says, yeah, I'd love to go. I want to meet Eli or Mark Williams. Drew says he can come. They're going to get a flight. They're all going to come out here. And they're discussing flight plans in the group chat. And through When Worlds Collide, I met a lot of great people. Behind the scenes, not on camera. Fuck those guys. But behind the scenes, Mean Gene. Fuck it. And, you know, fuck, hang on. I was checking some shit out real quick. So this is all going on, and we're getting closer and closer and closer to When Worlds Collide. Hayden messages me and says, guys, we got a problem. And I'm like, what? Yeah, none of the guys can make it. What do you mean none of the guys can make it? And he goes, Cameron, Drew, Zach, Navon, Yankee, lists all the guys. Says they can't make it. Also, the reason why me and Chase can't happen, the original main event of When Worlds Collide was going to be Mark Williams versus Chase Bridges in an unsanctioned match. Mark Williams versus Chase Bridges in an unsanctioned match.
Who wouldn't want to see that?
Yes. And, oh, shit. All right.
Wow.
All right. You got a following now. Fuck yeah, Tony.
Nothing.
So, because Cameron was like, yeah, we're going to set that up. Cameron messages like a couple days later, yeah, Chase said, fuck going there. Fuck Mark Williams. I never want to see him. All right. Fuck it. Fuck you then. We'll do me and Cameron. That'll build well. You fuck my company over. So we're going to build that up.
That too.
And yeah, that too, Hayden. And so it's like, all right, what the fuck? Why in the hell? Like, you don't want to put on this fucking 5-star match that everyone would get fucking hype as shit for. But like, this is not like weeks. This is not weeks, months before. This is like days before now when we're being told they can't show. We're getting extremely close, and we're like, what do we do? We are fucked. All of them, almost every match done. We're like, all right, we got to come up with this quick.
Let me put out a point here real quick. The first couple of videos that Hayden H2 actually put out for When Worlds Collide, you did see the call-outs from Mark Torch, Cameron Jackson, as well as Extreme Luchador called out Drew Hood, because those two matches were originally planned to happen.
Eric, I have not, but we are going to get to that one. That's another interesting one. That'll probably be like the ending part. I did send those to Tony as well. I think he has those on his computer too, right?
I got it.
Perfect. And so they say we can't show. So we rewrite it all. And I told Hayden, like, hey, I don't want to spoil this. I'm kind of pissed that we have to. But me and Jason Page are going to become a tag team. We can become the American Outlaws. We can do. And he goes, all right, I got it. We can do. Oh, yeah. And Adam Anderson calling out Nova because it would be Adam Anderson versus Nova. All of that. We had such a great show planned. It was going to be fucking awesome. Now, Hayden calls and he goes, I don't know what to do. I feel screwed because I maxed out my credit card on this ring. And I'm on the phone with him. Me and Jason or Eric look at each other like, you did what? He goes, yeah. And I go, fuck that. You're not just going to give us this ring to wrestle in. We're going to fucking pay you because that's bullshit. And now at this point, my reaction to them not showing up is, of course they can't show. how are you even surprised by this? This is not the first time.
Right.
And it was just hilarious. Now I understand some people had like ride issues, and there were some other guys. Cameron had like a family issue, but like Cameron said that about what happened too. Kind of odd.
Yeah.
And this is also not the first time they've done it. People like Cameron Jackson have done this. Cameron Jackson's also ghosted other companies that I know of, and I was told about it. He's like, yeah, they just ghosted us out of nowhere. He's dumb, and there was now we're gonna get deep into Cameron Jackson because I've experienced a lot with Cam. Cam is a guy. Cam could be the greatest salesman of all time. He can sell you chicken shit, and he'll make you think it's gold. And with how close we used to be, this is like tough for me to say because it's like we and him were so close. It's so hard for me to believe all of this.
Right.
He talked about family members dying with me, and then family members dying at When Worlds Collide, and I heard that the When Worlds Collide thing was 100% true. And then my promo there came out, and I was like, all right. And I did the promo at When Worlds Collide, which was like a big fuck you to all of them.
Yep.
And I'm just so at When Worlds Collide, I met great friends that ended up just becoming all of one program, and then you put out that damn rumor that we're gonna like merge or something. I don't know. Not gonna happen. Not fuck them. But we are having a losing company defunct at When Worlds Collide too. NWF versus. Let's plug that real quick. Tony, take it away about When Worlds Collide.
Why not? As we've just seen recently from NWF programming, at the end of Showdown 2, H2 put out the challenge that was then accepted that it'll be H2 teaming up with Tommy Zachary against Mark Williams and Jason Page in the main event of When Worlds Collide 2, where the losing company will go out of business.
You're damn right it will, motherfucker. NWF's going down, bitches.
Riley Boots, let me get this out real quick before you go on, Eli.
Right.
When Worlds Collide was up on New Year's Eve. I do believe.
Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah, here's another thing, Look, we all understand how the majority of the VTW fan base is. And I think I've come to the conclusion that I would compare a lot of the VTW fan base to Jake Paul and Logan Paul's fan base. Now I understand there are some people who are a little more understanding, but a lot of those guys that watch, that you can see in the comments, they're just so blinded by the truth. And I guess this is a way to get the truth out about these guys. Do I think that this will halt them? Not. They're fucking mad. They're massive. This is probably just going to be like oh, fuck you guys, you fucked over Mark Williams, or haha, you fucked over Mark Williams. Hilarious. Yeah. But I don't want this to be a complete fuck VTW. Like, I just want to get my story out. This is all most of this is. Mine was monetary issues. Mentioned that a couple times. Couldn't figure out a plan to fit the budget. It sucked. I had no joy in having to tell Hayden about it a few weeks before. Money is money. Money's fucked. I can understand monetary issues, but like, Drew, as you've seen throughout the show, I've been ghosted before, so I guess you can understand where it like fucking just bam. Of course, I'm not surprised. They've done this plenty of times. So and I'm glad you were here explaining a lot of what has happened with you. But yet again, I've never had an actual issue with you. Like, you've been awesome with me. Right? We may have like just completely like cold turkey stopped talking for a while, but I would never go, yeah, Drew Hood is an absolute piece of shit. Fuck him forever. You've mentioned I was very flattered when you said you want me in your elimination chamber simply to piss people off. That just means I'm doing my job. and I hate to be like and I hate to say like toot my own horn and shit, Reminds me of the drama how Everett Creed fucked over Jason Walker. I can't remember that, but I'm pretty sure most of that was a work. Because I mean, a lot of those guys are pretty, what?
Actually, I don't think it was a work because it's still kind of ongoing and they're making it into a storyline, but.
I mean, I understand where it hurt. Having dropouts make it
But
worse.
no, I wouldn't compare it.
Up with people sometimes, but yeah, no heat here again. Yeah, no heat here, Drew. But like my main gripe, I'll be honest, and I have to be honest because this is what this is about. Cameron Jackson has taken a lot of heat. A lot of the other guys in VTW, they've shown that their egos get in the way, and I think a lot of VTW has lost their sights on just wrestling as a whole because Hellhound said support all wrestling, and I've seen them say support all wrestling, but at the same time, I've seen them publicly bash other programs on their show, like little subtweet jabs at them, and they may say, oh, yeah, that's only because of our character, but like at the same time, it's like, dude, come on. Like, you do have a big impact in wrestling today. Like, you do have a massive impact, but if you are just like always back, like it's one thing to not mention them, but it's another thing to go on and shit on them on your show because with your fan base being as Jake Paul-y as it is, they're gonna go and just like say fuck those guys. Like I remember WrestleVersary came out a couple days before. I put out the fucking live stream like, hey, it's gonna happen, and it just got disliked the shit out of. Why? Because I got bashed on all the time. Fuck Mark Williams. Yeah, like all of it. Yeah, exactly. How was getting 14 dislikes on a video that hadn't come out yet? It got 14 dislikes before the show started. And then after the show happened, it got 35 likes. 30 fucking 5.
Right.
So, and that's hilarious. But now we're gonna get into a little more of Cameron Jackson here and what happened. So it's Russell goes up to the middle rope because that ceiling was low as shit. You go into the top rope, the moment you even like jump up, you're on your head. And those were the days. Yeah, they were. And I'd say just like, so he does, Cameron, this is the real after party at the Marriott. Does the black toad splash, frog splash, whatever.
Right.
Cameron just immediately tweets out, been copied again. Something like, it was like, I was copied again. I'm getting tired of this. Copy someone else. And it's like, okay, one, you should be honored when someone copies you. Second, and Mikey had plans to go to New York way back then, and he was like, I kind of want to do something with Cameron. It was a jab at Cameron, supposed to be for setting up a feud, and he just shat on it. Was like, fuck that. So me and Jason Page, or actually Jason Page at the time, I did a little bit of it, but I mainly did it after the show to keep my character in control of I'm a good guy who's just trying to retire, and then Hayden pulls me out of retirement for a match, and then I come back to turn heel and form the American Outlaws, which we had planned. We had so much planned for the American Outlaws for months, and then two things happen. D-Lock becomes the Outlaw. Navon takes the theme song, and we ran with it. I didn't know because I was so anti-wrestling, all these anti-BYW at this point. I was like, fuck all of them. I'm never going to watch them again.
Right.
And
he's the guest. He's supposed to be the one talking on the show, Riley.
Yeah. This is a totally, like, Riley, this is a 10,000% different Tiger Talks Wrestling. Now, I am more than happy to come. I'm more than happy to come on when you have an opening slot for me to come on and actually do a real style of it. And I would love to do that. That'd be a lot of fun. But I think I'm using Tony as a platform to get my story out because Tony's is the best platform to get it out. Because Tony is an unbiased, down the middle guy, and he will always tell me He'll always tell me if I'm wrong. And so now Tony at the time, I understand, was a massive fan of VTW and all them when Worlds Collide was happening, and he was there. He was a referee. It was awesome. He was there. We signed a big poster for him. We gave it to him. He has that poster. I don't know where it is.
In my room here.
Fuck yeah. And he's going to be there again. He's going to, he did ref it down the middle. And it was a lot of fun. And I remember did we get a picture with you, Tony?
I don't think we got a picture.
We're going to have to get a picture next time.
Yep.
We are going to definitely have to get a picture next time. Also, there might be a big crowd from too.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Tony, you get to witness Outlaws versus H2 and Tommy Zachary for the company firsthand.
Yes, I will.
And so Cameron does that, and like we keep jabbing at Cameron, copy, because anytime there was a move that we thought was similar to ours, we would we'd copy that tweet word for word and post it. Cameron messages Jason Page, go, what the fuck, dude? He goes, look, we've had issues for a long time. You've done this to us, and we've said this about you. This has happened, this has happened, this has happened, blah, blah, blah. And I tweeted because I got copied approximately 6 times. You motherfucker. And
but Eric does, yes.
Would you like to be on SBW right based down anytime soon? Sorry for the plug again. It's all right, dude. You know, I am not a guy who's big anti-advertising. Like, I understand, like, again, my company won't be around forever, and there's got to be another guy, because my worry is that there's not a lot of up-and-comers. Now, again, I'm not very in tune with all the other wrestling around here, but, like, I don't really see all the other rising ones that are going on. But I can guarantee you SBW is a guy who's rising up. I bet you guys are. I honestly don't know. I'm gonna have to catch up at some point because I'm so anti about it at this point. Like, I was so like, fuck all this, I'm gonna do my own thing. And I did that, and I think I succeeded at that. 1,000 subscribers is something not a lot of companies did. Not a lot of big companies that not a lot of them reached that.
Sure.
You know? So Cameron messages Jason Page, and it's like, all right, would you guys like to come down for a show? You have the messages. And I actually pull it up and read it word for word, then I'll explain what happened after.
You will do. All right, so here's the messages. It starts with Cam saying, this is back December 16th of last year. Cam says, I'm going to talk to the boys about it, and I think we'll be all good regardless. As long as y'all can make it on the 13th of January. He didn't specify that, but that's what he meant. We can make something happen no matter what. Then Eric replies, all right, man, if you can get the address to me, I'll for sure let you know if we can make it. It's not so much me, it's more if Eli will be able to travel too. So Cam says, I'll get the address a week before because we may get an indoor venue. Eric replies, all right, big facts.
Big facts! But anyways, so a few days comes. Actually, it was my birthday. We actually we came on to your podcast that day.
Yes,
nothing. Next day, nothing. Next day, nothing. It's the 13th, nothing. We got no message from Cameron whatsoever. And at that point, we just laughed about it and said, you know what? Fuck it. Now, if they were to offer us, we'd say no unless they gave me my Chase Bridges match. And I think Jason Page wants a Cameron Jackson match. Would we stiff shot? No, because we understand our differences between real hatred and getting a good wrestling match in. Now, if I'm to get stiff shot into the match, I'm going to fucking stiff shot you back.
Right?
But, like, we were just totally ignored. And it was like, okay, you said you'd get this to us. And we figured we didn't have to remind them because, you know, if they'd have had this set up, if they'd have had us in storylines or whatever, or stuff, they would have messaged us like, hey, by the way, this is coming up, if we were in something. Clearly, they did not give a shit. And didn't message us for worth a damn minutes. Fuck it. Fuck you. Fuck all that shit. And now I think I'm going to get into the story I was told by another guy that I know, and he was talking about how Cameron immediately came into a company. He was like, I want a title shot. You don't get to just go places and demand title shots because of your name. I would never do that. Hell, I don't even do that here. I'm known as an egotistical prick, and I always put myself first, but I've not been BCW champion since I was 14 years old. I'm 18 now, and I'm putting people over. I'm constantly losing. Why? Because I understand I've made my name. What else do I have to prove? Now, I don't want to ride off into the sunset because I fucking love wrestling. Love it. Will I be champion again? I hope so. I hope we can set that up somehow to where I'm a champion again. And I would love to just hold some gold, run around with it because I feel like I can run perfectly with it. But I understand there's other guys who deserve chances. Like people like Jason Page has deserved this shot. And he's fucking ran with it like no other. He's fucking been gold. If you guys have not watched the entire Jason Page run, watch BCW from March 1st, 2017 on. You won't be disappointed. That championship reign is amazing.
Agreed.
It's still running. It's over a year, and it's still running, and it hasn't become stale because we've always found a way to make it work. And he's telling me, oh, yeah, they did this, they did that. I'm being told by this guy, like, he's always talking like, all right, they're all set on, they're all just set on themselves. Like, if you are not, they were talking about how, like, they wanted to do cross advertising and how they advertise VTW stuff, and VTW didn't even like mention or even like say them. And I remember getting a quick catch up on what's been going on lately, and I see that Hayden tells me a lot about Proving Ground because I know he's involved with it, and he was telling me, yeah, we call this, like the catchphrase for it is, this is where opportunities begin. And Hayden goes, hey, what the fuck is this? Like VTW Academy. And it was coined where real opportunities come. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a direct jab. Right? And I have been told by somebody, I'll answer that in a second. That's kind of interesting. But, you know, they tell me all this, like, yeah, I actually see all this. You know, I was told that it was a complete rip of that, and they were going to do cross advertising, Proving Ground, and VTW Academy, but like to completely take a rib out of them and say this is where real opportunities come, like that's just flat out disrespectful. Makes you look like a fucking dick. Now I understand your fucking Jake Paul audience wouldn't understand that, but that's dickish. That's completely fucking douchey, uncalled for. Like fuck you. Like don't even mention it if you're not gonna fucking do it. And on top of it, why do they always gotta fuck with stuff? Like you're always trying to put your VTW guys over when your VTW guys are established in any crossover event.
Yeah.
Fucking let other guys get these opportunities that they deserve it. And Casey Chambers was a brainchild for the company, never meant to be a jab to anyone. All right. I mean, I understand that's a brainchild. I wanted to do BCW Rising Star for a while and put some new guys there. But at the same time, BCW and NWF are starting to do stuff with pro organizations. They see all of our guys and like, hey, we like all of your characters that you have. It's every day, bro. Yeah. And again, a lot of this is other people telling me this stuff. And I was also told that, hey, I also heard that they're going to be doing Chase Bridges versus Dirty DeChico at Best in the Yard. Wow. Now get this a second. That may just sound like a regular old match, but think about that a little bit deeper. Chase Bridges versus Dirty DeChico. What's Dirty DeChico's nickname, Tony?
The Gunslinger.
Who's my worst enemy, Tony?
Chase Bridges.
Who's about to be worst enemies, Tony? The Gunslinger and Chase Bridges? Please, I want to hear the explanation of how you can Outsiders respective are good, though. I'm sure people will be watching this back. Will be interested. Oh, I'm pretty sure. And again, I don't want this to be fuck VTW forever, but at the same. But anyone else want to see overrated ass Drew Hood? Now, I understand Drew Hood is a big fan of Jason Page. He's always about, you absolute jerkwagon. I understand Drew is a big fan of Jason Page. I have seen what he's said about him, and that's great. Like, he has said he's a very marketable guy, which he is a very marketable guy. That's why I fucking market the shit out of him as my main champion.
Right.
And it's just, you know, you hear a lot of these stories and you think, you know, it's solidified that I'm not alone in getting fucked over by a lot of VTW. And they say that the writing is just so inconsistent. And I think back to what I see in it, and is a lot of it can be. I did read it. It said, would anyone else want to see overrated ass Drew Hood versus bulletproof Jason Page?
Now he's talking about the I'm Jack.
Tell me I'm Jack. Hang on, this is news to me. Hey, at TBW Domination 3, there was a Rumble and there was a Wark Williams. And who else was there immediately attacked? Chase Bridges. You see?
Chase Bridges.
More evidence that these guys. And who are the guys in TBW? Because I don't know that quite well.
Who are the guys there?
Yeah.
Mr. Judgment, Hellhound, Adam Anderson.
Motherfucker, Hellhound, if you want to message me and say, if you want to like DM me and you hear my fucking story and say, yeah, I'd be mad too. At the same time, don't fucking ever message me and say that shit. Then have me as a mock character on your show. Don't ever do that shit. Unless you're going to have me come out and fucking beat the shit out of him and not Chase Bridges. Chase is a fucking coward, by the way. I heard Jackson Hendricks told me about this, how Jackson Hendricks kind of pissed off those guys out at VTW. And he was like, and at the time, and he's like, all right, well, I don't want to piss these guys off because I like going to Best in the Arts. So he tells Chase, like, hey, is there any way I could talk to you about what's going on? Chase messages him back, and he goes, nah, fuck that, fam. Fuck you. You're fucking white. You're skinnier than shit. Don't you fucking dare try to disrespect people who are on the rise. At Jackson, they pushed Adrenaline out of wrestling. They pushed Seth Maverick out of wrestling. Cody Rex is down in ESW, and I fucking love him for that. I love ESW. And I just, who the fuck are you to say that shit? And at the same time, it kind of goes back to whoever. And I have heard, and a lot of it I've seen. A lot of the guys that end up going to fucking Best in the Yard, like I say, and I pretty much mean it when I say, if you do not suck a lot of these guys off, you don't go. It's that simple. Like you won't be invited if you. I mean, that's just.
I think I have to agree with Mr. Awesome on that one, though.
Yeah, I mean, I just. But still, like, God damn it, Eric, you're jacked. Fuck you.
There you go, Eric.
God. Hang on. Drew. If you're gonna do this, you gotta do it right. Eric, it is not called a too sweet. What's it called, Eric? Put it in the fucking chat. What's it called? Eric? I'm waiting to see it in the chat. I'm gonna wait to see it in the chat. See, look. But it's big facts. See, look, we've been able to talk about the story and have fun. That's why I'm happy about this, you know?
Right.
All right, so would I rather get beaten up by Murder Club or lose to Cage in a career on the line match, get pushed off a roof onto a car, or lose the title you had?
That's a long-ass time, 1,000,000 days.
1,000,000 days. That's a long-ass time. I would not want to hold a title for that long because other people would deserve it and that run would get stale. Ah, there you go, Drew. Big facts. I hope you don't get suspended for saying that. I'd rather get beaten up by the Murder Club. I think that to be honest, Cage has already established himself. I would never want to hold a title for 1,000,000 days. Murder Club is a guy who fucking just, they're a good faction. And I would love to get American Outlaws versus Murder Club someday.
Ooh.
But again, I think Drew doing this, I mean, Drew is a more down-to-earth guy than most I know. He is a very down-to-earth guy. Mike is big time. Mike, just an awesome fucking guy. I've heard from a lot of people, a lot of people who have had issues with VTW that have been there, have said the guys they love the fucking most are Zach Daniels and Dustin Reagan. Dustin Reagan just left. I have respect to him for leaving. I mean, I understand he had some respect for me too. And you know, it makes me happy because also they were a group. So I found that out because I saw the headers. I have honestly not sat through a whole VTW, and I can't remember how long. And again, you can say that's absolute disrespect, but like I've been fucked over to the point where I have no interest in watching. So a lot of that has to do with it. But if someone was to send me what happened, I will have to check out that DBW Total Domination because that is fucked. And I completely am. Anything Zach Romig told me, he can go fuck himself. Don't try to act like you have support all wrestling, then go and take a fucking jab at me. The only person who can do that, because they never actually took a real jab at me, was Big Time Mike. Why? Because I know if I was to message Big Time Mike about something, he'd fucking reply and be like, "What's up, dude? Oh, yeah, this. But no, I am totally disrespected. I'm not even told about it. Like, I understand Mike never told me, but he never truly disrespected me. He kind of played along to what I would say. And that's just that's funny to me.
Right?
There's just and a lot of what goes on in wrestling today, around YouTube wrestling today, a lot of it is ego. A lot of people's egos are too big for their own damn head. They let their alligator mouth overload their hummingbird ass.
Well put.
Yeah. Tommy, you're fucking late as shit.
We went over that.
You stupid son of a bitch.
And we even plugged When Worlds Collide too.
Yes, we did. But you shouldn't have a big ego. Like, your character can have an ego all you want, but when it comes down to messaging people and they want to talk stuff over, like, I've talked stuff over with Cameron Jackson plenty of times, but more shit pops up, so it all turns into nothing.
Right.
But to message someone and reply to them like, nah, fuck that, fam, that's just disrespect. To message someone and say, hey, you were in character, but show respect, that's just bullshit. That's just disrespect yourself. That's hypocritical. That's just showing that all you want is for you to be treated like for you to get your fucking rocks off and get your dick sucked so you can be like, oh, call me daddy. And at the same time, they invite all these people. Like, you should not have a pre-show battle royal unless these are like guys who you are trying to build up. You need to fucking, if you're going to invite people from way out of town, don't tell them, yeah, we'll put you in a battle royal. No, those people travel. They deserve a match.
Agree.
And see, here's what I like to do. I like to make Mark Williams the most hated motherfucker, and then you get so surprised when you meet me in person.
Right.
You're just like, wait, you're not a piece of shit? No, not that horrible a person, but you know. And another thing is just, oh, god damn it, Eric. Sons of bitches. And it's just, at the same time, there's all these guys who have massive fucking egos, like Aaron Jones. That was the beginning of the end for me. That was now, do I wish I had a much better relationship with these guys? Of course I do. But at the same time, with me having a better relationship with those guys, they've got to fucking hand it back. They've got to fucking be more respectful, not only to me, but all the other fucking guys. You need to fucking let all those other guys know around the fucking world that are doing wrestling, hey, we're behind you. You got to truly show it. Don't fucking put them on a goddamn pre-show. If you don't have something for them, don't invite them. Just say, hey, we've already got it all booked up. You did that with me. Then the next year it was just fucking snub. And then Chase Bridges fucking puts out on Twitter like another year that Mark Williams is not invited to Best in the Yard. Like, I don't fucking care. I've done stuff on my own and didn't need to go to Best in the Yard. It would be at the point where Best in the Yard would need me more than I would need them, because I don't fucking care. I'm doing my indie wrestling stuff. I'm getting ready to go to Australia, and I've wrestled 2 matches. And I got shat on for saying, ooh, you've wrestled 2 indie matches. Yeah, and I'm going to Australia. And I'm about to be in a Ring of Honor dark match. Which that is not a lie. Fucking Hayden and Eric can put in the chat. Ames told us about a Ring of Honor dark match.
Right.
It's a and it's so funny that they laugh at me, but at the same time, I'm going places with this, and it's getting to the point where, and I just, our companies are becoming developmental systems for a pro wrestling company, EHF out in South Bend. It's becoming that, like, yeah, to be honest, battle royals are overrated. It's done to death, and I find them to be very boring. Yeah, they are very boring. Like, unless it's a Royal Rumble style where it's coming in one by one, it's not interesting. You just have all these people in at once. Yeah, that's kind of boring. I kind of want, like, I say I want better for BYW/YouTube wrestling as a whole, but I've tried to do something about it, and I've tried to build it. I've tried to build other guys. They get shat on and shut down because I'm associating myself with them. And do I have any regrets? Absolutely not, because, you know, I've done what I've wanted to do. I've turned a dream into a reality. I've done a lot that a lot of people and what Busta Boy said is that he left the community because it's hard to find good people, hard to find real people. That is true. But a lot of times the people are fake, but because they're supposed to be fake. You know, it's a character. Like, that's going to happen. But if you were to, but like, if you were to say, a lot of times if you were to mention Mark Williams to a lot of the guys out on the East Coast, they'd probably go, oh, fuck that guy. Fuck him. He's a bitch. I understand I'm going to be called that because I built myself as a character. Mention Eli Shelton. Oh, goddamn. Okay, yeah, my name is Eli Shelton. Mention me. Mention my real persona. They're going to be like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, yeah, they'll probably go, oh, that's Mark Williams. Fuck that guy. Because I built myself to the point where I'm truly fucking hated behind closed doors.
I mean, just look at this. I had to put with mystery guests this week just to get people to come in here because
that is true. If you put my fucking name on there, no one's going to watch because I've been so publicly advertised as fuck that guy. But it got to the point where people were so intrigued to see who it was. And it's sad that I had to do that. And maybe it's because I'm not a draw or whatever it's called. But I wanted this story out there for people to understand the truth of what goes on. This is why everyone says there's an ego problem in wrestling. I may be a part of the problem, but behind closed doors, I'm willing to put anyone over that wants to go over. I am willing to find someone who I find to be a guy who needs to be built as a god, and I am willing to say, I will tap out to you, damn it. I fucking tapped out to Hayden because I respect him. All right? And to build up a lot as his character, you know? I mean, he wants to build the beast bite, and I was willing to fucking tap out to it because I'm also a heel can tap out. Yeah. Baby faces cannot. That is a very odd but true statement in wrestling. You cannot tap out as a babyface. You can tap out as a heel all you want, because then they can shit on you like, you tapped out. And you go like, yeah. Like when I tapped out, I was told I tapped out. I was like, I got bored. You get to, there's so many things you can do with it. But anyways, I've told my story. It began with the Gunslinger being stolen from me for no reason other than I don't know. Then it became to where I got ghosted from my show and I had to completely start over. Then it went to everyone hating me after the BYW awards. And then it came to Revival happening, and I tried to advertise it, and thank you, Drew. Thank you. And good luck in your indie match. Good luck. Like you may get nervous because it's a crowd, because it's very different from being in the ring. Both are fucking assholes. I'll try and fuck you. Fuck you, Eric. You little bitch. And it went to this went a lot to a lot of things. And some people may think, oh, fuck them forever. Fuck them for doing that. Some may go, who's this guy and why is he bitching? Some may go, you know what? It's whatever. Fuck him. Or it'll be, fuck yeah, we did, and we have no shame in it. I guarantee what VTW is going to do is they're going to have their heels come out and say, a lot of times what I've seen is their heels do their talking. They put their heels out to say how they really feel.
Of course.
Which is the smartest fucking thing ever. You should always do that. If you truly... Like, I would never have my top babyface go say, hey, tell everyone to never watch them because fuck them. No. I'm going to have him build himself and get the crowd behind him. And who is this guy and why is he bitching? Yeah, exactly. The disease 666 said that. Who's that?
In other words.
That's Jason Atlas? Oh, shit.
That's Jason Atlas.
Well, I'm Mark Williams. Nice to meet you. If you haven't heard me before, I'm totally surprised no one's ever said fuck that guy to you about me. But I think this is probably going to be towards the end. I've said what I've needed to say. And you want the truth of why me and Chase has never happened? It's because he doesn't want it to happen. He has never wanted to wrestle me. It's because he just flat out didn't want to wrestle me. There's nothing else to it. There's no travel issues. There's no money issues. There's nothing about that. This is simply the fact that it won't happen because he has refused to do it because he's got a fucking ego. And no matter how much I can't stand the guy for everything he's done in the past and everything he still does today, if I was offered that match with him, I'm going to fucking take it. Why? Because that's what people want to see. I would put Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart put their differences aside while they fucking kind of didn't because they fucking put results in their egos. But they had their matches against each other no matter how bad they fucking hated each other, simply because the people loved it. Everyone wanted to see that. And I would never, ever say, fuck him. I would never work with him. Simply because I don't like him. I mean, if it's that we don't like each other publicly and you can put that into a match, perfect. I would do it. But as you can see, it hasn't happened. I put out the challenge and he fucking told me, come to South Carolina. Like, bitch, I challenge you to my show. Don't try to twist this on me. Like, I put out the challenge to, stump him a little bit. Be like, all right, well, fuck. If I don't accept this challenge, like, he could have said, no, I don't need this. And been like, oh, I could be like, Chase is a pussy, haha. He fucking accepted it and said, you got to come to me. And I'm just like, fuck you. You did that totally just like fuck over me because at the time I couldn't really go there. Now I fucking could easy. But at the same time, it probably wouldn't happen. Right. I would probably advertise and then I get there like, oh yeah, you're in a battle royal. And I'm like, all right, fucking wasting my money. Fuck. And so we do have our story out now.
We do. So how about you tell the people how you really felt when you heard that Chase Bridges was winning their VTW Reunion Rumble this year?
You want to know how I felt? Oh, he's going to win it, huh? So his dick sucking finally really paid off. It's just...
So now he gets to go to their big show, VTW Mania, to face Jamal Payne for their world title.
Oh, of course, because, the dick sucking has never felt so good. So that's happening. I can only imagine Avery Hope just behind the desk like, I reckon this feels great. I'm kidding. No, a lot of it is, I think, mostly Avery is.
Yeah, I have a feeling Avery doesn't actually have a whole lot to do with the booking, but yeah.
He's more of just the figurehead because he's a perfect figurehead, and he's a perfect guy.
He always get to wrestle on it, so.
And, you know,
I don't think we have to mention what they're talking about in the chat room there.
Yeah, I'm seeing everything that's going on.
Oh, we got a first dislike. Imagine that. Oh, speaking of dislikes, I was going to mention this earlier. One other reason that we couldn't mention Mark Williams, I mean, look back at when I did have the American Outlaws on here. How many likes and dislikes did we have on that video?
Holy fuck, let me go look at it real quick. Ben here all stream. Stop the fighting, dudes. So. Let's.
I seen it was 5 likes, 5 dislikes.
Yeah, of course. You see the name American Outlaws, you see Mark Williams and Jason Page, you fucking hate it immediately. That's just how it is.
Yep.
But, you know, I'll leave it at this. You've heard my story. You've heard how I feel. And now you know why East Coast and Great Lakes don't get along. And are there some guys who I would work with? Again, I would work with Chase Bridges, mainly because that's a money draw. Money. Not like actual money, but that's views. Right. That's something people would pay to see because it's such a personal rivalry that's been going on for ages, and everyone's waiting to see it conclude. You've got fucking Drew Hood. I'd work with him, you know, teacher student. I'd still work with Cameron if he'd fucking show up, you know? All the history that's happened. I'm willing to work with people I don't like. Because what? Wait, what? Did you were you
asking? I was just saying right to what you were saying.
Oh.
There you go. Well, they were still for the most part, Jay. Justin.
Oh, wow. Damn. Yeah. And I'd work with Dirty DeChico. Gunslinger versus Gunslinger. Be a good one. I'd work with Yankee. Yankee would be a great match, me and him, you know, the fucking thing that went on Twitter. I'm all about a good storyline. I'm all about telling a fucking story in the ring. And KSI, I don't fucking know. I really don't pay attention to a lot of YouTube. Besides Mr. GG, because he's fucking funny. I don't know if a lot of you guys know who he is, but I think he's hilarious. I watch him. H3, that's about it. That's outside of wrestling. In wrestling, I watch, you know, I try to watch a lot of indie matches on YouTube. I watch my own shit on YouTube. I'm a fucking egotistical prick, I know.
It's all good.
You know, but yeah. So, there again, we're going to fucking end this again. There you have it. Now you know what the fuck has happened. Now you know why the East Coast and the Great Lakes don't like, or the Mid Coast don't like each other. You now what's next? I would say a follow-up podcast at some point. You know, have me on. Especially if a grand story could come. Of course, Drew. Story. You can put on a great match, but at the same time, if you don't tell a story, what's the point?
So we didn't talk about this ahead of time, but would you mind just letting them do a Q&A if anybody's got any questions here for a couple minutes real quick?
Oh, of course. I got time. You know,
okay.
If any of you guys have questions about what I've said or anything in general, actually, like, fuck, ask me. I am willing to do a quick Q&A before I got to go. 3 dislikes are coming in.
Yeah, I see you.
AKA, we now know why people hate Mark Williams. Oh, fuck yeah, definitely. You know, I've been very outspoken from the beginning. And I'm not afraid to tell people what I feel.
Okay, Jason, we'll see you next week. I'll get into that later.
What a little shit.
That's him and...
Why do you adore Tommy Zachary so much? Okay, fuck Tommy Zachary. Next question. Okay, what is your favorite food? Fucking tacos. Anything Chipotle. Are you jealous at Jason? No. Dad bods are in. I consider you to be the CM Punk of the community to say how you feel rather than whether people agree with it or not. Fuck yeah. I mean, I love CM Punk. Now, I have been a very big talker myself for a long time too. And while it is flattering to be compared to pro wrestlers, such as especially one as great on the mic as CM Punk, I try to stay away from that stuff, like, because I try to do a lot of things my own way, and I don't mean that to be in disrespect to you saying that, because again, I understand a lot of people would say that, but again, like, you know, I'm here to build my own guy, like, it's myself. I'm always in control, like, oh, I'm always in control. I'm the gunslinger. Yeah, I'm the OG gunslinger because fuckers stole it from me. Why do you love Mikey Nitro? Mikey Nitro is an East Coast sellout. Hashtag originality. I am a big guy about originality. I've tried so hard to make things original. Dream match: American Outlaws versus blank. Young Bucks. Okay. But one that could happen, I think FTC would be a dream match because, you know, we've all fucking feuded for a long-ass time, but complete this, like, it'd be great. Or American Outlaws versus Chase Bridges in a 2-on-1 handcuff Chase Bridges to a fucking pole, fucking hang him up by his underwear match. Totally playing, you know, right there. You know, I need to have – hopefully we can cross paths one day so I can just break your face. Kayfabe not included. Fuck yeah. Not surprised, Mr. Awesome. Also, the guy who has been my biggest fan for a long time is Mr. Awesome. Go follow that dude on fucking Twitter. Mr. Awesome, put your Twitter in there so they can follow you, boy. Yeah, dude, I'll break your fucking face in. I'll fucking Sammy Callahan your Eddie Edwards looking face.
Wow.
Yes, you shit sack. Dude, I would love to have you on the fucking on BCW sometime. If anyone is willing to come and do BCW, we'll record and then we'll record. I'll probably write some storyline for it. Maybe I'll just tell you last fucking second like I do a lot of times, because I'm a lot of times I am very unorganized. But you know what? It works out in the end somehow.
That it does.
But yeah. Does anyone else have any questions that aren't douchey ass questions that you motherfuckers have asked? Because you motherfuckers are just dumb as shit. We have kept a consistent fucking pace here of viewers. I'm thoroughly surprised because I thought it'd be like very high at the start, then they see it's me, and people are actually interested in what to hear. I guess the tell all part.
Gotta read this one from the dark side.
Prospect boy, back up, Riley. Okay, the dark side wrestling. Seeing some of this, I can certainly understand and feel the mutual dislike of VTW and their bullshit. When people say fuck the East Coast and aren't more specific, it's gonna rub people they create animosity that wouldn't be otherwise there. Oh god. Oh god.
Now to that, I would, in a way, have to agree with the dark side on that because it's not all of the East Coast, but still.
I mean,
because to me, I talked to the dark side, I talked to Navon and NUW, and sorry to say this for VTW, they're not going to like me saying it, but the VTW guys have pretty much fucked them over too. So, Because NUW goes out and promotes the hell out of VTW, and VTW doesn't do a damn thing for NUW.
Well, yeah. Look, what I've realized, if it's not VTW, they don't give a fuck, and that's how it's always gonna be. You know, you can bitch and moan about it all you want, but Jake Paulers and the Low Gang is still gonna follow them regardless. But anyways, guys, I'm Mark Williams, or Eli, whatever you want to call me. I've told all. I have told the truth, more importantly. And I guess it is fuck VTW. I've been told plenty of times, don't say fuck the East Coast. But they're on the East Coast, and, you know, I just say fuck the East Coast. And I've always said that. Because a lot of times I would see that a lot of the times all the guys who aren't in VTW were basically guilty by association to me. So that's what it was.
Understandable.
If you are a guy who dislikes VTW and you want to tell me what they've done to you or anything like that, or if you just want to say fuck you, Mark Williams, my DMs on Twitter are open. I'm surprised I've not gotten a death threat yet. I'm still waiting for that, and the day I get it, I'm going to fucking post it, and I'm going to build off of it. Why? Because I'm Mark fucking Williams, and I build off of whatever the hell works.
Right?
But yeah, I've got to bounce. Let's do our quick little outro here. Let's do some quick plugs. Let's you can advertise your show next week. Yeah, hang on. Dark Side Wrestling. You're getting heat with guys who should be working with and not pushing away. This should be a community where you are saying fuck the East Coast to people on the East Coast who have been cool to even response to Mikey Nitro. Would you go to NUW? Fuck yes, I would go to NUW. Yeah, I'd definitely go to NUW.
I agree with you, Buster.
I'm glad I've gotten Riley Bates interested in BCW. I guess this was a great way to fucking build an audience.
Yeah, but got Riley Bates and Buster Boy both.
You know what? They're going to be able to catch up. Fucking, I request you start at the March 1st, 2017 episode and watch from there, because you're going to get a great storyline down the line. And I say probably the greatest BCW match ever, Summer Bash 2017. But fucking watch the build-up for it. Tony, give me your honest review of how many stars. Don't suck me off or anything. I'm not here to be that guy who you're like, oh, I hate that. I want honesty. Rate me versus Jason Page, Summer Bash 2017.
Ooh, that match is Summer Bash. That was a very good match. I wouldn't give it 5 stars. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Of course you'd say that. But no, I would give it at least 4 stars on that one.
Good shit. By the way, happy Rusev Day. Every day is NUW. Dude, I've talked to a lot of the NUW guys. Fucking Navon has been very respectful of me, and that's why there was one thing that I never really mentioned Navon besides the fact that when he started bashing on Myron Reed, I didn't like that very much. But yet again, Myron Reed has been the guy who's guided me. So I fucking go to bat for him at any time. But I'm glad that the fire's been reignited for you, Busta Boy. That's fucking great. Go check out our stuff. I'm very happy I did this. Honestly, I feel a lot better. I feel like I don't really have to explain myself. I really feel like now there's a legitimate reason. Like, people now have the knowledge of why I am a disdain for those guys. Now you have the story. Now you have everything that's been told, and now you don't have to. Now you can actually pick a side because you've heard. And I understand.
So yeah, I'm going to build off this a little bit from Busta Boy. It says he's always going to be honest. If you show us crap, I'll say it's crap. If it's good, it's good. Do that all the time with VTW. See, I had a little bit of an issue with a couple guys in VTW because they had an episode of Vindication a couple months ago that was complete shit. And I said so on Twitter. And I find out from behind the scenes that one guy that we mentioned earlier today, Chase Bridges, had a problem with me saying that.
But he can't take fucking honesty.
Right.
Come to New York with you. I don't know. I might be busy at that time. I don't know when you're going, but I still got a lot of shit going on. I'm still a fucking senior in high school, god damn it. I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to fucking wrestle every day. But anyways, it's about that time I get off and go do things. I appreciate you so much, Tony, for having me on, for giving me this platform to do this. You're the real. When I say you're my boy, Tony, I say that on screen and off screen. You know that's true because you're my fucking boy, man. I cannot wait to see you again. I really cannot wait. It is going to be a grand time.
Yeah, I was hoping it'd be a little sooner than later, but it's looking like it's going to be a little later than sooner. But
you know, that's quite all right.
It'll definitely happen. I'll definitely be there at One Worlds Collide too. So
shit, yeah, you will, and we are going to put on a fucking show for you. That will be the one match. I will be disappointed if it's anything less than 5 stars. That fucking main event is going to be 5 stars.
To give you and Jason or Eric, whichever you want to call him, this much. Yeah. You guys improved a lot since that match too. So.
Oh yeah, since One Worlds Collide 1 match, since our Summer Bash match, we've improved a lot. A lot of times because One Worlds Collide 2, that was our very first time in a ring. We've never been in a ring before. Yeah, fucking Jason Page does the fucking flip, and that's his first time in a ring. Meanwhile, I'm the fucking top row, I'm like, hey. Yeah, but I'll never be an ass kisser. I hate ass kissers. I'm not an ass kissing type of guy. I want you to tell me honesty. But anyways, Tony, I'm signing out. You have a fantastic night. Everyone watching, you have a fantastic night. Catch up on some BCW if you have not. March 1st, 2017, I promise you, you won't be disappointed in what you watch. You may have to witness trampoline wrestling for a while until WrestleVersary 2, but still, fucking watch. Watch. And you will soon find out that there are guys who deserve to be talked about. Tony's new fucking favorite wrestler, fucking Jack Brown.
Yeah, trust me, when you guys get around to seeing him, you're going to be amazed by the things he can do in the ring.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in person yet, but damn.
Yep. So, sayonara. Have a great Wednesday. Some of you spring breaks coming up. If you're kids, fucking enjoy your spring break. I know I will. Mark Williams or Eli. There are 3 channels. Here.
While he's doing that, I'll just plug this. If you guys haven't watched my recent episodes, go back and watch them. I haven't had a whole lot lately, but
please watch Tony's podcasts. I have to catch up on them too, but I'm going to. I have caught up on a couple. I thoroughly enjoyed Drew Hoods. There you go, Drew Hood.
There you go. Plug for Drew. He's still there. But besides that, next week on here, next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we just figured out today because we had some conflicts. We were going to do it on Wednesday, but other things happened. Tiger Talks Wrestling will actually be Atlas Talks Wrestling because Jason Atlas will be hosting for one night only. I'm going to be the guest on the show.
I cannot wait for that. I'm going to be watching, and I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to talk to you. Now, may our phones be blown up with fuck yous.
Yes,
and may our ladies stay beautiful.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
For Eli, I'm going to close this out myself here. Make sure you send those questions to Jason Atlas one way or another. Try not to just mention it on Twitter. If you can DM him, if you know how to, do that. And it's BCW or BYW, wrestling related, preferably, is what I ask for that. I don't want some of this other stuff I see in the questions. You guys can rip me apart. I don't give a shit. I'm ready. So do your best or worst, whichever you want to call it. But yeah, that'll be next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Tiger Talks Wrestling channel. But it will be called Atlas Talks Wrestling featuring Tiger Talks Wrestling. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys go back and watch the latest episodes I've had on here. Easy to find. You would say that, Riley, but we'll get you on here sooner rather than later as well. We got plenty of other guys that'll be coming on here soon. I think DBW is going to be happy that I'm planning on having one of their guys on here very soon, but we'll see what happens with that. For that, also next week is going to be a loaded week. Next Friday evening, probably at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Haven't decided yet. Going to be doing a NXT TakeOver prediction show, rather. And then next Saturday at some point, I'll be doing a WrestleMania prediction show. So be on the lookout for those 3 shows here on the channel next week. Other than that, this has been Tiger Talks Wrestling. That was Mark Williams, Eli, whichever you want to call him, telling it like it is with his story. This is Tony from Tiger Talks Wrestling. We're out of here. See you guys next time.